World Baseball Classic is taking place, and we are waiting. We are waiting. What is America's pastime?
At this point, it's not basketball anymore.
No, but I mean, America's pastime has always been baseball, right? Boys of summer. I mean, for a long time, you associated baseball with America, right?
Sir.
And I know the NFL is probably king now as far as professional sports, but we're supposed to dominate the sport. It's supposed to be ours, and yet we are waiting to see if Team USA advances to the next round because Mark DeRosa, friend of mine, I've gotten to golf with him. Great dude. Did not understand what was at stake versus Italy, where all of a sudden Team USA finds themselves losing, and it's because D-Row thought it was an exhibition. I mean, he essentially thought it was a game that did not matter. Here he is doing a little interview with the fellas from Hot Stove, some buddies of his, and they're talking about the game, and he's talking about getting some other guys some run. I think that's after the game, right? Do we have the clip where he's talking about he's like, well, you know, we're going to look at some different guys. He's talking about getting Goldschmidt at bats. I mean, it's like, we're going to play everybody because we've already clinched. And he literally said, we've already clinched into the next round.
Absolutely. And that, I mean, he coached like they've already clinched into the next round. You look at guys like Bryce Harper and Alex Bregman, who've played in a million big games in their career, and they were nowhere to be found.
Right.
Where guys like Goldschmidt, who at this point is like a 38-year-old platoon player,
right,
who in Major League Baseball was like the 5th lowest against righties in the whole league last year.
Yeah.
And he's starting against a righty because you thought it would be a good day to get Bryce Harper a rest and Bregman a rest. And oh my God, what a terrible job! And but how does nobody else in that?
Right.
Nobody knows the rules.
I felt I can relate because I was talking about my daughters playing club volleyball and soccer.
Okay.
They do a very similar. You play pool play, and then oftentimes the algorithm, the formula for how you advance, it's not always win and you're in.
Totally.
Like, or it's, you know, if you're 2-1, it comes down to how many sets you've won.
Right.
I can't stand it because I can never figure it out. I'm the last one to understand it. But you would think with what's at stake, they would have somebody in the organization that would be aware of exactly what's at stake, and yet that was not the situation. Let's listen to D-Row after the game when he's saying he misspoke. That's how we had that clip of Mark DeRosa trying to defend the decision right here when he said earlier in the day.
I was on Hot Stove with a couple buddies today and completely misread the calculations. We knew that Mexico was going to play Italy and then running all the numbers with if we lost tonight with the runs allowed and runs scored and outs. So I just misspoke.
Ken standing on the right.
So did he misspeak or did
That's
he
what I was gonna say. I don't know what misspoke versus didn't understand.
Well, I don't, because he said we misread the calculations.
Okay.
I don't think he want to admit that he just screwed up.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, he's trying to kind of, there's a little bit of spin zone right there from Mark DeRosa. He doesn't want to take ownership, which I get it. Like, it was a major, major blunder. They were saying that during the game, they didn't realize until the 8th inning. Like, even during because they had Clayton Kershaw, they were going to get him in, and then they're like, uh-oh, we have to win this game, or else we're in serious trouble.
Well, that's the thing is you didn't even have to win the game. They just could have coached differently and not left the same guy in there to get shelled for like the first 4 or 5 runs in like the first 3 innings. You could have went to a reliever earlier and kind of stopped the bleeding. And if you would have done that and kept it like a 2-run game or a 3-run game, you may still well have fell inside that algorithm that can keep you moving forward. But that's where the biggest problem was. The problem was they just let them run up 8 runs on him.
Yep.
And by that point, it was so late, you knew you had to win at that point because you gave up 8 runs already. And he was coaching like it doesn't matter because, like you said, if you could have held them to 3 or 4, even if you lost, you find yourself inside that possible bracket today.
They still had a chance with Aaron Judge at the plate with the runner on that they could have tied it up, could have potentially won the game.
Yeah.
Here is Aaron Judge's opportunity.
Oh, come on, guys. What are we showing?
I know. This one hurts.
Well, I mean, Aaron Judge is one of the few players who showed up for this team so far. He's got 2 home runs in 4 games. He's got 4 hits in 4 games, and he threw out the only guy that Skeens led on base.
Yeah.
So he's had a great tournament, but unfortunately at that time they needed him to be big, and he wasn't.
So that was the U.S. call. I want to hear the call in Italian, a more passionate language, and, of course, the winning side. Here it is.
Il pitch azzurro è in vantaggio, ancora dei lanci a disposizione per farla. Non c'è fretta. Abbiamo fatto le 5:17, possiamo fare anche le 5:17, 30 secondi.
Anche 18.
come adesso.
Il K di Greg Weissert. L'Italia fa la storia. L'Italia batte gli Stati Uniti al World Baseball Classic. L'Italia batte gli Stati Uniti a Houston.
Oh, yeah. A little more passion in their call, getting the shocking upset over Team USA.
Yeah, man. It's tough, man, because they came into this tournament, and a lot of times they don't take these things serious. It seemed like they came in here trying to take this thing serious. I don't know how I feel in baseball about a tournament where you can lose one game and be out. In a sport like baseball, in the first round at least, in a sport like baseball, man, you could show up and lose any day, right? If a pitcher's got it one day and your guy doesn't, it's over. That sucks.
Well, that's why you play multiple game series when they get to the
Right, of
playoffs.
course.
Like, you don't want
Of
to
course.
have sort of these one and done type situations.
Right.
I still, this kind of, I've seen graphs
Yeah.
that have tried to explain how the USA advances or they get eliminated. This one clears it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you heard DeRosa talking about, he's like, well, it's the runs allowed per inning and these different formulas, but this basically boils down to what it takes.
Right. Yeah. And the weirdest part is that there's a way that if either team wins today, the U.S. can get in. So, like, at some point, they have to hope, like, if it ends up being a lost cause, it's got to be one. Like, you don't have to worry. I think it's simple. If Italy wins, they're in. And I think if that's what I thought it was. If Mexico wins and scores 5 or more, I think the U.S. is in.
Right.
I think that's the only two way they get in. So, like, at some point, if Mexico got 5 runs, I think things look good for the U.S. unless they lose 7-5 or 8-5, which I don't know, man. I'm a little lost, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to watch the broadcast just so that they could tell me when we know.
This is where I kind of can sympathize with Mark DeRosa, because I still, like, we're looking at all this. It is very complex. It is not easy to figure out, but that's where I think it shouldn't even be on DeRosa. It should be on somebody else. That is employed by Team USA, that is 100%. Paying attention, that has the calculations in front of them, that says this is exactly what we need to do. And at the very least, they should have known, hey, we can't just show up and not play people and just act like it's an exhibition game. There was definitely things at stake. And clearly the team thought they were moving on, because they were talking about, DeRosa was talking about how the team was dragging a little bit, and everybody knew exactly what they meant, because team players are having a good time. They're going out maybe a little bit later than they would have thought if they had to dial in and focus. And it was pretty evident during the game that was the case.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I think we have that soundbite. I think I sent that back to Malik. But yeah, he almost gave you the indication that the guys were out the night before. Maybe they tied one on and they came back like, we're good anyway, no big deal.
Miss it, or they're they're dying for it. So listen, the iPhone changed the world, right? Bottom line, we played in a different generation where we could do and say things that wasn't going to get out. I just feel like these guys are under such more of a microscope that they go back to their hotel rooms and kind of, Bobby can attest, they're probably playing video games and hanging out, but we don't get to see it. We played in a different time where we were staying in the clubhouses till wee hours of the morning, just having a few beers and talking the game. So that has been the most enjoyable part of this for us, just kind of bringing the entire group together. I mean, that not only that ended up on the bus, that ended up back at the hotel. There was some guys dragging today.
Yeah, and he kind of chuckles, like you kind of know. I've been in some situations, primarily on Saturday mornings in the NFL. We'd come in for walkthrough practice, like before we traveled, or it was a quick morning walkthrough. Friday night was a big night out, and it didn't really, like, if it was towards the playoffs, you might see guys dial it back, but you could smell the liquor in the walkthrough the next day, because they would go sleep it off, or you'd sleep on the plane. You felt like you had another day to recover. I think that chuckle at the end said maybe you could smell some of the alcohol left over from the night before.
Yeah, he basically said it without saying it. And like the first 40 seconds of the clip, he seems like he was just saying that they went back to the hotel, they chilled out playing video games. Then he kind of let you in on the secret at the end. But yeah, you know what? I've been hearing a lot of people, this is going to be a massive disappointment.
Gosh.
It's not like they brought like a B team to this thing, man. You got the best American player in the world. Your pitching staff is so loaded. I mean, schemes delivered. I would have loved to have you here last week. We wanted to talk about that Skubal thing. But now Skubal comes back. Who knows how that game goes if Skubal starts? You know what I mean? It could be completely different. My question for you is this, and I've been hearing people say this online. I don't know if it's a bit, if it's just being dramatic a little bit. I've heard people say that the U.S. going out in this first round would be as disgraceful as the U.S. winning over Canada was euphoric. How do you feel about that? Would one be as? I mean, the U.S. it's supposed to be Japan, U.S., and DR. That's who we think, because the U.S. sent their big guns, and for them to not make it out of the first round would be so brutal. That's what the discussion online is right now. Like, the U.S. beat Canada, won the gold last week, and it was such a huge moment for USA Hockey. Would this be as bad a moment for USA Baseball as that was good a moment for USA Hockey?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
because I do think the Olympics are a bigger deal. Bryce Harper agrees with that. I don't know if you saw his comments about that, which I thought were disappointing, because I think the World Baseball Classic has been awesome for baseball, for the sport. It's brought so much entertainment and passion for the game. And to hear Bryce Harper kind of downplay it, maybe he's a little defensive because of what's happened and trying to downplay how it's unfolded. But I don't think it's as disappointing on a national scale the way that, because I mean, the Team USA hockey was incredible.
Nuts.
You know, and I don't think it carries as much passion.
That's hockey players, though, because they played that Four Nations tournament. That was I guess it was kind of like the equivalent of the World Baseball Classic, as hard as they played in the Olympics, too.
Yeah.
The Kachuk brothers are fighting. Yes. They went down crying. They lost to Canada, giving everything they had, you know. But
my question for you is this Mark DeRosa blunder, right? This mishap. Does it get remembered like a Chris Webber calling timeout in the Final Four when they don't have it? I'm trying to think like of a Bill Buckner going down. That's on the field. J.R. Smith calling a timeout, you know, and LeBron's next to him. Is it? I mean, it's got to be one of the biggest blunders that he's taken a lot of the heat for. And I think most of it probably is warranted.
See, it's weird. There's two demographics online. There's people who just say this is an exhibition. It's not that big a deal if they don't make it through. And then there's people like me who think, anytime you do something with the USA across your chest, it means more. So to me, I will definitely remember this. I mean, it's something I'm going to remember. You think again, it's the Olympics, but you think the Russians remember losing to the Americans in those jerseys? It's like, it's crazy, man. This to me is a big deal. And it's only a big deal to me because, it's supposed to be our game, and we didn't send we've sent B teams to things in other sports before.
Yeah.
And if you don't win, they hadn't taken it really serious. I did not feel like this coming. I was excited.
We've got the stars of the game that are all playing. Here's Bryce Harper when he was talking about.
Can I ask a question before we play this?
Yeah.
And I should know this. Do they play baseball in the Olympics?
He's trying. I think I think it comes in his answer. I think he wants to see it in 28.
I see.
So let's hear from Bryce Harper.
I've been fighting for LA 28 for a long time. I think my whole career I've been trying to get something started or something coming up. Obviously the WBC has been great, but it's not the Olympics, right? That's no disrespect to the WBC or anything, but everybody knows that when the Olympics are on, everybody's watching. Don't matter what sport it is. It could be the most random sport, and it's got all the fans watching it. So I'm hoping LA 28 happens. I'm hoping the next CBA agreement something can happen where teams and players can come to an agreement on taking that 2-week break, especially it being in our home country. It'd be great for baseball. You talk about growing the game, and being able to grow it at the highest level would help out tremendously. Yeah.
So he's making the case more for the Olympics, and even starts at saying we want to see it in 2028. So 7 times the Summer Olympics have featured baseball as a medal sport. So from 92 to 2008, then in 2020, but that's it. So it hasn't been there for it wasn't there in 2024.
Right.
And I think that's more because he's taking some heat for this downplaying the World Baseball Classic, which I hate. But I do think his point is he wants it for 2028. He wants to promote the sport.
And from the 90s to the 2008 and then in 2020, did we send Major League Baseball players or did we just send amateurs?
That's a good question. I bet we did amateurs because what he was saying
he would have played in 2018,
right? And he wanted to say, and I think what he was saying too is we need a 2-week break like they did for the Winter Olympics for hockey players,
right?
Which then you get a ton of attention. How do you feel? Because did you see Italy's roster?
Yes.
So there's a lot of American-born players like Jack Caglianone, who is incredible, playing for Italy, and it's not like in the Olympics. I don't know if they would allow the same rules to go. I think you might have to be a current citizen of that sport. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Because that Eileen Gu was a dual citizen with China. She kind of sold out the U.S. to go get that dollar. But are you okay with that? Because I actually think it's fun. And we've had guys, Alex Rodriguez has represented 2 countries. He did it once in the U.S., then did it with the DR, I believe, or I think that was what.
Okay.
So I think it is unique to the World Baseball Classic that they let guys kind of pick their countries, and I don't feel as adamant about them selling out the U.S. to go play for a heritage play. You know,
Well,
hey, you have ancestry there.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel, because on one hand, I feel like most of these guys wouldn't have made the American team. So they're almost like, if I'm not going to make it with America, would any of these guys, maybe Jack Kaggs he's a young stud. He might have made it, but I think the rest of these guys are probably playing for Team Italy because they don't make Team USA.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So for me, on that sense, I don't think I care too much, because these guys want to get involved in what turns out to be a really cool tournament. It's getting a ton of attention. And I'll tell you what, though, this going forward for Team USA, if you don't make it through today, and if you're lucky enough to make it through today, understand, watch those Dominicans, watch those Puerto Ricans, man. They play like it's the last game they're ever going to play. Juan Soto hit a mercy rule home run in the 7th the other night. It was a walk-off. It put the DR up 10 or 11. It ended the game in the 7th. And you would think it was the home run he hit against Cleveland for the Yankees to send them to the World Series. That's how important and you know, that's the way they go about business in their uniforms.
And the crowds
Crazy.
Are insane. The electric atmosphere, it feels like playoff baseball.
Okay, so you're an athlete, man. You've been in front. Wouldn't that just jack you up?
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't you just, even if
Definitely.
I came in and I was like, you know what? Like, I don't care if we really win this thing. This isn't as important as the Olympics. I think that on its own would get me so fired up. Like, oh, we're taking this thing.
1,000%. That those crowds definitely contribute. And you see your fellow countrymen and your supporters waving your country's flag.
For sure.
And they've got the noise. I mean, it is in general
Yeah.
a much louder crowd, and the electricity is awesome.
Right.
Speaking of who it means, more to, Cal Raleigh
Okay.
is out there playing for Team USA, and he's facing one of his teammates with Seattle. Trying to get the clip up here. We've got Randy
Arozarena.
Yeah. And here's the exchange where, even in the big leagues, oftentimes you'll see buddies and they'll kind of give a little dap. Here's what happened before this game, or at the plate. And the crowd notices, right?
For sure.
They
are
noticed.
loud with the boot. Oh, yeah, for
They
sure.
noticed that he got the cold shoulder there
Yeah.
from Cal Raleigh.
Uh-huh.
And so you're thinking, all right, is this fun? Is this just kind of trash talk? Well, Arozarena, after the game, we'll hear from him, see if he thought it was a fun moment.
¿Cómo quiere que le responda acá, Riley? ¿Cómo quiere que le responda?
No, pues lo que tú nos quieras compartir.
Acá, Riley, ¿cómo se lo digo?
Do you know Spanish?
Not enough, but I know I caught the important parts of this thing on a quote.
Primero se lo voy a
So.
decir en español, mira. Primero, lo único que tiene que hacerle es darle gracias a Dios que tiene buenos papás, ¿no? Que sus papás están muy bien educados. Gracias a Dios, hace 2 días que los pude ver en el hotel y me fueron a saludar, me dieron un abrazo y estaban muy orgullosos de mí de poder verme otra vez. Lo otro se lo quiero decir a los cubanos, se lo voy a decir.
All right, so let's get the translation right here. You can see went in, and here's a little bit of it. I want to say it in 4 languages. First, in Spanish, the only thing you should be thankful for is having such great parents. He's very well educated, thank God. I was lucky enough to see them a few days ago at the hotel. They came over to greet me, gave me a big hug. We're genuinely proud to see me again. After that, I want to give it to him straight Cuban style. What he has to do is bleep off Mexican style, go to hell. And in English, that fake ass, good to see you, he hit me with, he can shove it straight up his ass. I'm out. Is that legit? Like this is where I love PBD, because he's watching. He knows 5 languages.
Yeah.
And he translates.
Uh-huh.
I thought this was fake. Is this real?
Well, I've heard and I've read somewhere different that the good to see you. He said he could shove up his ass. I heard that part for sure, and I definitely heard the F off go to hell. So yeah,
So yeah, it's legit.
So yeah, at least the parts that matter.
Yeah,
are legit.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because he compliments him about his parents and says that. It sounds like he would have whooped his butt if he didn't. Cal Raleigh did get an opportunity to respond. Here's Cal's side of the story.
I mean, obviously regarding the thing yesterday with Randy, I love Randy. I do. I hate that this is a thing. There's no beef. When we get back to Seattle, he's my brother. We're family. I already reached out to him, so it's just a competitive environment, and I know he would want the same for me when we're on the team in playoff baseball, and I just have a responsibility for my teammates here right now and my country, and emotions are running high. So, but like I said, I love Randy. He's awesome. He's been great for our team. And like I said, we talked, and this isn't a big deal at all. So we're good friends, and we'll continue to be good friends. And I think we're just enjoying competing against each other right now. And that's really all I have to say about it. So
you laugh about it when you talk.
That's good, Malik.
When did you guys talk?
I think this is great from Cal Raleigh. I love it, man.
Yeah.
I hate this generation. The
Me
soft
too.
crybaby players. Dude, the game starts. We're not cool for a couple hours, man. I hate it. I love when guys don't pick up the players on the ground and football. I love it when guys brush each other back and basically, come on, man. What are we doing?
I love that from Cal Raleigh. He wants to be a competitor. I'm so sick and tired of seeing the NBA players come up, dap each other, give each other a hug. Hey, I'll see you after the game. We're hitting it out tonight. Where you don't. I want to see animosity between competitors on the field, especially when you're repping your different countries in an event like this. I think it was gamesmanship from Cal Raleigh. I think it was fun. I think he definitely viewed him as a competitor, and he wanted to separate himself from the teammate aspect so you can kind of have that killer instinct where I'm going for the jugular. I don't care who you are.
I love exactly what you said. I love exactly where you went with it. Because you know what I thought of immediately? I thought of a guy in the Olympics who was wearing his jersey across his chest, and it's a pretty famous story. He said, I'm going to run that motherfucker over. And it was Kobe Bryant. And on the first play of the game against Pau Gasol, who went on to be the godfather of his children, who 6 years after his passing still has a big presence in their family's life. And Pau Gasol was man enough to be like, I love it. I was totally cool with it. He didn't help me up. He ran right through my chest. And the rest of the team went like this. The rest of Team USA went like this. Whoa.
Right. And
that
it set
the tone.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It was a tone setter.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I love that from Cal Raleigh. Too bad the team didn't respond with the same mentality. You know who my favorite star from the World Baseball Classic? It's been Andres Satoria.
Tell me more.
Who is a electrician by day. He's a full-time electrician in Czechia, and all he does is throw 4 2/3 scoreless innings, including striking out Shohei Ohtani on 3 pitches.
Amazing.
And Japan is one of the best, most stacked rosters in this thing. Granted, they still lost 9-0, but he was awesome. And even though who appreciated it? Every Japanese fan that was there. Even the Japanese players got up on the dugout as he was exiting the game, cheering him on. Here's a listen to him as he's exiting the game. You see the emotions on his face.
And the ovation for Andres Satoria. The bow.
This was his last game, too, is my understanding, right? Yeah. Leave it all out there, my man.
For Andres Satoria, a Czech baseball legend.
He's tearing up.
Oh, would you? I would.
Yeah.
I heard he topped out at like 81.
I thought 79.
Oh,
I thought it was 79, which probably does. It's probably one of the reasons he had success, right? Because they're so not used to seeing stuff that was that. And he always does a ton of offseed stuff. What do you think a baseball legend in Czechia, what do you think life is like? Is it any different? Like, do they even notice? Are they watching baseball? Like, I think it's great in baseball circles, but I don't know if he's like getting any commercials anytime soon.
No, I'm right with you there. I think he probably walks the street with everybody else. He looks like a real common dude. He's not like overly big where he stands out. Now I think life goes back to normal. Well, maybe now he's getting a little shine. Who knows? Maybe get a little 15.
I hope he
does.
Yeah, I hope
he
gets
some money. Yeah,
put him on some talk shows and stuff like that. But we shall see.
I gotta commit. I do like the Japanese fans, man. They do things so differently and so traditionally over there.
Respectful.
It's funny, man. I told you my guilty pleasure is like wrestling. In Japan, they don't speak during the matches. Like they wait till they're over and then they cheer and stuff. It's because the fans are like super different over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool. Very, very cool over there.
Love it.